All right, welcome, welcome. It is September 28th. It's our team call, and the end of the month is just about here. It seems the last time I thought about dates, it was August. And so time is absolutely flying by. I've got some fun stuff we're going to talk about. I mean, we're all on here because we are Life Vantage distributors, right? And we have goals. Does everyone on here have a goal where you want to go with this? Where you want to take this? It may not be super clear, but we got feedback. Where do we get feedback? Okay. So we've all got goals. We want to move forward, and you guys are here. So congratulations for being here. You know, showing up is probably the biggest step that you have to make. What was that, Karen? I missed that. Oh, so showing up is one of the big things. If you're not showing up, I'll tell you, you can get left behind really, really quick. How many of you have jumped on a Zoom or a call, or you're in the middle of something and you had this FOMO going on, this fear of missing out, so you got on anyway, right? We've all experienced that. So before we jump in,
I'll let you come. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. 20% off promotion. We have had all sorts of fun in Canada with that. Won't go into the details, but we do have 20% off on Axio, on the physique products. So if you love your Axio, if you do sampling, whatever, take advantage of that 20% promo. It's also a great opportunity if you've been talking to someone and they're sitting on the fence. Say, hey, how would an extra 20% off? Would that be enough to get you to make a move? So take advantage of that. 2 days left. There's the global pool that we are all capable of attaining and achieving. And that's enrolling 5 people in the month. Some people have done this in a day. Some have done it in 32 days and just missed it. So what I encourage you to do is be enrolling right up until the end of the month. If you just, the mindset is to enroll. Don't put them off. Just bring them in when they're ready. So get in the pool. Last month it was, it's not as much for our American friends. It was $231 Canadian, which is pretty sweet. That's probably like what, 50 bucks US? A little more than that. So it's a great promotion to promote to your team. Let's see here, what else? Okay, so not a lot of announcements. Global is coming up really soon. Is anyone here attending in person? Or is everyone doing it virtually?
No.
Yeah, I think we're all doing it virtually from Canada. If you can get together and do your own little globals, do it.
And we get points from virtual too, don't we?
We do. Yeah, you get points for virtual, get points for attending any event. Register for all the LVAs, you get points. So we're going to start out here. Now, some of you may be picked on. I mean, asked to share something here, and we'll see how this goes. But I was talking to Tori, and she said, I won't be able to get on, I won't be able to host this week, but I would love you to bring Cheryl on and share a little bit of her experience with what's been going on in HOMA and with corporate and all of that. So Cheryl, could you take a few minutes? And
Johnny on the spot.
There you go. And
Y'all
just
excuse my look. This is Jim. I didn't have time to clean up and fix up. Anyway, well, you know, when Tori sent that information out that they were going to have that day, I kind of was under the impression that we were just going to go there and visit and eat and blah, 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 that kind of thing. Well, we got there and 30 minutes later, I could hear hammers and banging and I looked through the window and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. we really are working. So let me go put my tennis shoes on. Thank God I had bought tennis shoes because that was a lot of stuff going on there. And so back up like 15 minutes before all this started, there walks up, look, I'm drawing a blank on his name, Steve and Kristen and Michelle Oborn. Yeah. And it was just, I mean, it was kind of like people from the neighborhood just walking up, like normal, down to earth people. Hey, how you doing? And introduced myself because I had met them in June when I went to the event that Brandon and Lynette had put on a corporate office. And I mean, they just took off like, I'm telling you, like just we normal people like us, knocking walls out, carrying stuff, carrying trash. I mean, and we started at a little after 10 and went till we had lunch, we took a break, but those couple of 2-3 hours, just full speed ahead, nonstop. And his blue jeans, his tennis shoes, not even just in the middle of it all, not standing on the outside, not wanting to get his hands dirty and nothing, but in the middle of everything going on, him and the two ladies. And it was just such an awesome day to spend with all these people because I mean, everybody, y'all all see the picture, how many there was of, I don't know, about 30-ish, give or take. And had I not been a part of Life Vantage, I wouldn't have known all these people. I would have never met all these people. Randy lives 10 minutes down the road from me. I wouldn't know him. So it was just such an awesome day, such an awesome event. Jambalaya, white beans. I mean, they loved it. Michelle was dying to know what the recipe was because she was going to cook it for the office. I said, girl, brown you up some onions and meat, add up some water, put rice up in there and let it cook down. It's as easy as that. Now, if you want to make a jambalaya this big, well, now we're on a whole nother level. But if you want to just try it at your house, get your black iron pot, brown up your onions and your meat, add water, put your rice in there, not too much water, because then you have to be just right. And like I said, we ended off the day probably somewhere around 3 o'clock. I think they all everybody just started to go their own way. They had to get back to the airport, and Kristen was staying behind with Fred because she was taking off to New Jersey, I think the next day, her and Fred, to go do an opportunity meeting. So it was just a great day. We completely gutted that whole house. I was in like awe. I was like, well, I guess I am coming to work. But just to let y'all know, this is the real deal. And they had a little something for people. So most of us that were there that had trouble, I was out of electricity for a week and gas to run my generator and, expenses like that. I didn't have major damage. So it was just a little card signed by some of the people that we know. Some of the signatures I couldn't make out, but I had Kristen on there and a couple of others that like I said, I couldn't make out their signatures, but it was so sweet of them. And it was a legit signature from the corporate employees. So, like I say, it was fun. Just let's keep going. I cannot go to convention. This is the first event I missed in 8 years, and I'm so upset because I know there's good things coming, but it's okay. It's okay. My job is first for right now. So within the next year, I plan on putting it in full speed, and people need to hear about this, do this. If you need more money coming in, well, here's the place to be. So thank y'all for letting me share.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Cheryl. I really appreciate you sharing that. And how moving that must have been. Like not moving, but life-changing for Shannon and her family.
Yeah.
Boy, did they got hit hard.
Yeah, she said literally just watching the rain coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a certain part of the house they could be in, but the side that we started to gut out is where the roof started to leak. And
right.
She was like, well, there's just nothing we can do.
Yeah. And these are the things that we hear about, right? We hear about these big tragedies, the devastation that can hit, a part of the country. But the truth is each of us have been through hard times. We know somebody that is going through something hard, okay, that not everyone hears about. And that's part of the gift that we have to give, is to make a difference for people. So I'm going to talk about moving our business forward, the things that we need to do, the things that we get to do to either accelerate our business or to stay where you're at and not move it forward. And so, you've all heard, do we lead with the business? Do we lead with the products? I think this past year and a half, 2 years, there's evidence that both of them are important. Because Randy, I don't want you to elaborate, but just give me a nod. The way you were feeling when you went into the hospital, were you concerned at all about business, or were you concerned about getting better? Yeah, right? Concerned about getting better. There's a lot of people really suffering health-wise right now, and we've got something for them. And so we need to be considerate of where people are at. If somebody is looking, they didn't get COVID, they've got through this whole thing, but they lost their job. Do we have something for them? Absolutely. Or maybe someone's had COVID, they've got a good job, and they are sicker than the dog and they need help. Have we got something for them? Yes, we do. And so which is right to lead with? Either one. And you're going to hear different elite distributors say different things. And that's okay, because this is your business. You run your business the way you are meant to run it. And that's with your heart. So speaking about hearts, I've never brought this up to Tori, but I think it should be an ongoing thing for every team call. Our numbers may go down because of this, but our stories are so important. And we spent quite a bit of time working on our 3-minute story, because that 3-minute story is so important to be able to share with everybody. And so we're going to have somebody share their 3-minute story with all of us. And I don't want you explaining about your story to all of us as if we're all distributors. I want you to share your story as if you're standing in front of a room with a group of people that you've never met before, and you want them to know what your story is. Okay, so we're doing it for real. I don't know who's going to do it, so I'm looking around. First of all, I'll say, does somebody want to volunteer? And if you do, if you felt like, oh, he's going to call me, I don't want to do this, but I want to do this. If that's you, just unmute right now and say, it's me, before I pick you. Okay, this means I'm choosing someone, or do we have someone?
I'll go.
Randy, okay, we'd love to hear your story.
All right, so sadly, I lost my mother at age 58, 21 years ago, and 23 years ago now, sorry. And when I was about to turn 55, 3 months before I was about to turn 55, it was just like, man, I'm all of a sudden 55 and 58 is just around the corner. And I recall distinctly the day she was diagnosed having cancer, sitting in the doctor's office, and her doctor looking at me and my two brothers and saying, boys, this is your future. But nothing changed from that time for me as far as concerns about my health. And all of a sudden I'm 3 months from 55, and hey, 58 is just, we all know 3 years goes by like that. So I shared my concerns with someone, and that I was seeing. I was a registered nurse at the time. And she said, well, look, there's something I want to share with you. And we had been seeing each other for a couple months. And so she shared with me what at that time was just simply ABC video about this product that I was kind of like, really? Slow down my aging? How is that going to help me, right? So she invited me over to her house one evening during the week, and a friend of hers that she worked with was there. And this guy had on his white lab coat, and it said, Doctor, well, it said Ted Husbeth, MD, right? And we sat down at the kitchen table, and he shared some of his knowledge about it. And he was already involved with this business and shared what he knew about it. In fact, that he had studied some of this stuff in school at LSU, but as a Western practicing doctor, they didn't practice natural healing. And so when he got involved in it, he started looking through his journals and decided, this is something significant and I want to be a part of it. And all of my family is going to be a part of it. So I started trying product right away. And literally in about 3.5 weeks, it was like somebody flipped the switch on, right? And I could feel a change. And so it took me a few months to decide to get involved in the business. But once I did, July of 2014, I still got one of those customers from that time as a customer. And as a matter of fact, he had a major heart attack 3 years ago. And when he shared with his doctor, and he was driving with his family at the time on an interstate, and when he shared with his doctor about Protandim and what it was doing, his doctor said, by all means, you need to keep on taking this. So I feel really great about what I've done, what I'll continue to do, and I still want to continue sharing it because I know it does make a difference. I shared it while I was in the hospital recently, and one doctor, well, I first shared it with a registered nurse, and she said, oh, I take that for my MS. I've been taking that for about 18 months now. Said, let me ask your doctor about it if you can continue taking it. And the doctor said, you could, but we have you on an intravenous steroid to help your lungs recover. Your lungs, because of pneumonia, collapse. We want them to reinflate, and the steroid is helping that. So you can't take that right now. So I had the bottle right there with me. I said, I'm fixing to. So that's where I'm at, and I'm still loving it. And I'm dragging along, but hey, I'm still here. I still get a check, right?
Awesome. Thank you, Randy. Let's give him a
Yes, sir.
good job. I appreciate you sharing that. How many of you at some point of what Randy was sharing could relate? Something you could relate to in that story? Yeah. I see everyone nodding. I see hands up. That's the thing about our story. Your story, even though it's unique to you, other people can relate to it. And that's what people are looking for. The 55 to 58 years old, mother having cancer. People can relate to this stuff. So let's jump. We got 10 minutes here. Let's jump into talking about Power Hour. So we heard corporate was going to be doing Power Hour. I thought I was going to be getting down and dirty and working for an hour. Turned out we had two powerhouses on a call, Taylor and Brandon. And what an amazing call. These guys they got it going on. But I'll tell you, the true meaning of a Power Hour, I'm going to read it to you. This is from Seth Mulder. I don't know if any of you have ever looked at the leaderboards and the stats. Seth's up there, like at the top. Not just in a Pro 10 position, but in other elite positions as well. So, Power Hour. Power Hour is a highly focused, intentional 60 minutes of doing 8 fundamental business building activities. Power Hour can and should be done by yourself, but it is also an effective method of mentoring and growing your team. By doing Power Hour together, you implement a powerful process of individual growth and team duplication. People tend to do more when they learn how to do it effectively and when they're part of a team that is something bigger than themselves. So if you, let's say tomorrow, you've got a window of 30 minutes to work on your business. You have a game plan. Like if you've got a window of time that just fell into your lap, like you've got a book day and it's like, I got 30 minutes. I'm going to work on my business. Do you have a game plan of what to do? Or do you start thinking, okay, who should I reach out to? Maybe I should do a post on Facebook. How many of you do the wheels start spinning and at the end of 30 minutes, you find that you didn't do much? Okay, we're all guilty of this. So we did some power hours a ways back and we've done them periodically. I'm looking around to see who was on a power hour with me and how you would describe it as far as productivity. Chris, you've been on some of these. Do you want to share with the group what it was like as far as how much you got done compared to what you normally would get done?
Well, I think the value in the power hour, working together, encouraged me to actually do physical work. And so I was able to take that time and make use of that time rather than going through who am I doing, what am I doing? Not to say that at some points in the power hour, I was still struggling, who am I going to talk to? But knowing going into a power hour, I could be better prepared of who I'm going to talk to. So for me, they were important to do the work, to actually do the physical work that needed to be done. And that's, to me, they're incredible, absolutely incredible.
Perfect. Thanks, Chris. Michelle, I remember the first one you did. What did you say? Do you remember? How much?
What's that?
How much you got done in the hour?
Oh, I did more in the power hour than I'd probably done in the previous 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, Karen, please.
I haven't been on one in a while because the scheduling doesn't always work with me. But what I really like is that you're focused for 10 minutes. You're directed. You're doing this. Do this. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. You're doing this. And what I compare that to is going to Curves Fitness. You get a circuit. 30 seconds, you're doing your triceps. 30 seconds, you're doing your calves. 30 seconds, you're doing your biceps. It is incredible fitness that you would have not given your full to, because normally you would be on that machine for 2 minutes giving her, but 30 seconds you can really give her something. And I feel with the power hour, giving focus to 10 minutes to one set thing that we're told to do with that timer set is really beneficial.
And everyone's doing it together. So if I was hosting it, like I've got this from Seth, it's the CEO, which is Creating Entrepreneurs Online. He lays it all out, how to host a power hour. And whoever's hosting does the work. We all do it together. And then we take maybe 30 seconds to a minute, talk about each point. Were there any questions, need any support, move on to the next one. And so at the end of an hour, I'll tell you, you feel like you've done some work, like you've done a lot. And like you said, Karen, it's because you've done the little increments. So you can do these on your own. They are, how many of you are so self-driven and motivated that you do power hours every day on your own? None. I would say none of us are.
Well,
Oh, Laurie does.
I do at least one invite and one fam and two. Epson.
She does mini power hours daily.
I sit down once a week and make up for the days that I felt like I failed, that I didn't get done what I really had planned. My calendar's right here. I look at it and go, I didn't get to do that on Wednesday. I need to make this up. And it's usually my Sunday or Saturday morning.
Right. So here's what typically happens. We'll see a post by J-Lo or Tori or somebody saying, hey, we've got a power hour. It's going to be in 3 days. Get on and promote the heck out of it. There's no reason why, Karen, you don't decide, you know what, I want to do a power hour Thursday. I'm going to put out to my team that I'm doing this. I'm going to put it out to my upline. I'm doing this. Who wants to join in and do it? Like, you don't have to wait for anybody. And you don't have to be any rank of a distributor to host one of these. And so what I do is encourage you to work your business like this, little chunks, but very, very focused. Because if you're not focused on what you're doing, you'll never get there, right? You're not focused. Michelle.
I want to add another level to it. The power hours are incredible, that concerted concentration, but adding an accountability to it, you know, like we've done accountability through the years and we just check in with one another. But if you remember at one of the events when Eric Worre had people paying, you know, if you're not going to do this, it's going to be $1,000 or whatever. And it doesn't have to be that amount. It can be as easy as $50. And having an accountability partner where I know I have to pay $50 every day I don't do my work has been more successful than, you know, the previous 5 years in doing the work. And I'm sad to say that, but it's true. You know, it hasn't obviously been enough that I just 1000% believe in the product or the business and want to share and have succeeded in that. But this last little bit, with having to pay somebody else $50, I refuse to do that. And
No, and I'm her accountability partner and I haven't got a penny yet, which I feel really ripped off.
Yeah.
Come on, Michelle, take it easy today.
And I really like you, Carrie, but I refuse to pay anybody $50 regardless.
Yeah.
But that accountability level does add something to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my 2 cents.
No, it's so true. And we hear it through, you read Think and Grow Rich, you read some of these classics, and a lot of it is accountability. If we're not accountable, like 99.9% of people cannot be accountable to themselves. They just won't do it. But if you've got an accountability partner, and if you're locked in, if you're committed to that, great things can happen. One accountability I made with Michelle, and I know you're just going like this, is I'm going to be in the pool this month. Laurie and I are going to be in the pool this month. If we're not in the pool, whatever that dollar amount is, I got to pay Michelle. We have one more to find in 2 days. So, you know, if you set things up like that, it will push you. And anyway, it's good stuff. So we are out of time. I wanted to talk about something else, but we're out of time. We'll save it for another date.
Do you have a PDF of?
If anyone wants this, I know I have another one. This has more of his system on it.
You can take a screenshot.
But if you want, we'll probably just post it in the groups. And there's also this one. It's called the Ultimate Setup. Tony Child did a team call for us a few months ago. And we were asking with network marketers, what's the best thing they can do to have success? And he said is to set up the situation before you talk to anybody. And so he's got the ultimate setup. And it's your attitude, it's your mindset before you even open your mouth with the other person. And it's phenomenal. It's just when you read through it, it goes, oh, this makes a lot of sense.
Chris just said, please post in the group.
Okay, we will post in the group. And so I encourage you, if you want to do a power hour and you're feeling a little uneasy about it, reach out to me. I know Karen's run these, Chris has run them, Michelle has, I don't know who else has. Reach out to us. We'll help you get one going and invite your team.
Find us on Messenger.
Yes. All right. So thanks for participating, you guys. I love, love, love team participation. I hope you have a great night.
Oh, screenshot.
2 days left. 2 days left. I got to take a real quick screenshot. If somebody knows how to do a screenshot on the laptop, what buttons do you push to do a screenshot? I would learn something new.
It's a print
In
screen.
screen. Print screen.
I
It's
don't-
right above the
Right hand.
backspace. It's next to the delete.
Did you say that?
I've got
It's to the left, the
I've
left
got
of
an
the,
Apple.
oh.
Don't know where it is.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for jumping on. Randy, thank you for cold turkey telling your story and sharing with us. It was moving. Cheryl, thank you for sharing your experience there with corporate. Everyone that shared tonight, and I think all of you did. Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing everyone next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.